Alright guys, I got another video for you. Today we're going to be finishing, we're going to be starting the code for our ejector. The main goal of the ejector is to put more asteroids on the screen. Looks like that. Opens up, puts another asteroid into the game so you can shoot it and it will keep putting more asteroids onto the screen for you. Alright, let's see if we can't get started on this. Okay, so first thing we're going to want to do is to make a script for this guy here. We've already got our animations. We've got the 3 animations, eject asteroid, which looks like this. We've got close ejector, which looks like that. And we got the idle, which is just sitting there. So let's go ahead and add a script here. So I'm going to go up to the top. I'm going to hit the Add Script button. Now I have a lot of scripts in mine, but mine is going to go into the Scripts folder. And then I'm going to go to Objects because it's an object. And I have online stuff, so I'm going to go to... actually, you know what? Maybe I'll drop it right here. Actually, let me do... I'm making a new folder for myself, so online objects. Yeah, let's do that. OBJ objects, online objects. Now, if you just want to put yours in the objects folder right here, that's fine. Like I said, I have a whole bunch of different stuff in mine. This is to help me keep y'all's stuff organized versus mine. So I just picked a spot for it. Make sure you organize your stuff. It's extremely important, especially as your game gets bigger. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a name on my script up here. So I'll come up to the top. This is my Eversole, and I don't always do this, but I'm going to put this on here. Eversole Online Edition. And this is my ejector. Boom, there we go. Okay, I'm going to delete some of those. Now, let's think about what this asteroid ejector is actually doing. Well, it needs to open up from the start. It's going to start on idle, and then it needs to open up, put an asteroid onto the world, and then disappear, and then close the portal, and then do it again. And so it's just going to keep repeating that. If we play this scene right now, the ejector's up in the top corner. I want to move it so I can see what's happening. So what I'm going to do, well, you know what? We could actually put this on our test zone. Let's do that. Let's do that. That's smarter. So let's go to our test zone. Let me see if I can find it. Test world? No, this is not it. Let me find it. Y'all will find yours faster than me. Okay, here we are. My test zone. I'm going to add a holder here to this because right now I have my asteroids and they're in the asteroid holder. So I'm going to make a ejector holder. So I'm going to make a node. And I'm going to call this ejector holder. And as you can probably guess, the ejector holder is going to hold all of the ejectors from my level. Let me go ahead and link my ejector holder. So I've got link my ejector here. So I'm going to click on ejector holder. I'm going to click the link button. And I'm going to go scroll down to Eversole. This might take me a second to find it. You know what? I got something cool for you. Ejector. You can actually type it in. Let's see, then I can see all of the ejector underscore online. Okay, so I kind of like searched it. So ejector online open. So there is my ejector. And I'm just going to put it on the screen like that. When I push play, I have the ejector on the screen. Now, right now, my jet goes under it, which is probably not something I want to do. So in order to put the jet above it or on top of it, I think you just move the jet to the bottom there. So now if I play this again, the jet is going to go, ooh, nope, not over the top of it. Let's see if we can figure out how to get the jet over the top of this. Let's try that. That's kind of weird. Maybe that's a problem we deal with later, because it's kind of not really that important. Oops. You would think that it would fly over the top of it. Anyway, it's gotta be something with the Z index on my jet. So if I come over here to Z index and I turn it up, that should move my jet towards us. Let's see if it does. Yeah. So now it's on top. So I adjusted the Z index. I don't usually like to do that, but whatever. So I went to green jet and I adjusted the Z index to 1. 0 is going to be under that. And then also I think -1's behind the stars. So, okay, let's keep going. Okay, so we have our ejector on the screen. Now we want to play, let's focus on making the animation play. So we want this animation to play at a certain amount of time, like when a certain amount of time passes. So let's add, I'm on my ejector scene, I'm going to add a timer node. And I'm going to call this timer, I'm going to rename this timer node to spawn time. Spawn time. All right, now what I want to do is I want to link this timer. I want to link it to my top script up there. So on the top right, I'm going to click on node. I'm going to hit timeout, and I want to connect this to my ejector. So there, it's connected. Now, anytime this timer times out, it is going to cause this function to play. Well, right now there's nothing in that function. So in this function, I'm going to just print something for myself here. I'm going to say print, and I'm going to say tick, like a timer is ticking, like tick, tick, tick. Okay. For the very start of my animation, I want my ejector to always start with the idle animation. So I'm going to say $ animation player dot play idle. All right. And then when this timer ticks, I want it to print out the word tick. Now, if we just play this right now, it's never going to tick because we didn't turn the timer on. There are several different ways to turn the timer on. You could come over here to this auto start and click on that. Then when you play this, it's going to play the tick, tick, tick because it's automatically started. You can also do the one shot, and then which means it will only tick one time, or you can also adjust how much time is in between each tick. I personally like doing this in code, so I'm going to set the tick time in the code over here. So what I want to do is first I need to get a reference to this timer. So I could say $spawn timer, and that's going to grab that node. That's going to grab that node, and then I can tell it when to start and how long. So if I said .start, and then inside of there I said start a 1 second timer, that will start it at 1 second. So watch how this, let's see how this works. So let's run this and push play, and now you should see every second it's going to tick, tick, tick one time. Now, if I wanted it to be a 1 second timer, or just do it just one time, I could say $spawn time dot one shot is equal to true. And that's just like I came over here and I clicked on one shot and played it. Without this one shot here, it's going to just keep ticking. Let's see what this does right here. So one shot, it should tick one time, and it's never going to tick again. So you can see how you can set these things in code. In my opinion, learning how to actually write this stuff in code is far more beneficial than just ticking the boxes and stuff. Now, you can do both, but hey, we're here to learn how to program stuff, and this really learning all of these things really opens up your world here. All right, so what I want to do is I'm going to set this spawn timer. I'm going to make it time let's do every 3 seconds. So this timer is going to be a 3-second timer, and then this bottom part down here is going to tick. What does this tick need to do? Well, I want it to actually spawn an asteroid. So I'm going to make a new function for myself, and it's going to be called spawn asteroid, like so. And in this spawn asteroid, I'm just going to print spawn the asteroid. Now, how do I call this function? Well, I need to grab this function, and every time it ticks, instead of just ticking, I want to call the function excuse me, call the function spawn asteroid. So I'm going to get rid of this. Well, I'm going to comment out this tick here. So now if we play this, every 3 seconds, it's going to play the function spawn asteroid, and right now it just says the words spawn asteroid. Okay, so what should spawn asteroid do? Well, it needs to play one of those nice functions that we created. So I'm going to say $animationPlayer.play, and I want it to play the function eject asteroid. Then I need to wait until this function is done. Hopefully you guys remember some of this stuff. So I need to wait for the animation player. I need to wait for that animation player to be finished. All right, that's what that line says. So I'm going to start writing some comments for myself here. This says play the eject animation. And this one says wait for eject animation to finish. And this is our just simple print something. Let's just say print something. At the top here, this is start with the idle animation. And this says start the timer with a 3-second interval. And then this one, play the spawn asteroid function. All right, so we're making some progress here. So let's take a look and see what we've done. I'm going to play this one on my test zone so I can see what's happening. So every 3 seconds, boom, it opens up, and you'll notice right now it's just sitting there. It's not doing anything, but it brought the play asteroid, and it's gone. It's done. Now let's go back to our code. After that, let's go back to our code of our ejector here. All right, so after the animation is finished, it said spawn the asteroid, which is good, but then we need to actually close the doors. So I'm going to say animationPlayer.play, and I want to play the ejector close. And then we also want to wait for that animation to finish. So I'm going to wait for that animation to finish. So I'm just going to copy this. And I'll even put another comment here for myself that says play close ejector, like so. And let's give that a shot. See if it closes the animation player. So 3 seconds, it opens, then it closes. Great. And then it says spawn asteroid. Well, if you're paying attention, you'll see that it spawns the asteroid after it closes. But in our animation player, I don't know, this is not repeating. Let's make this repeat. Hold on. Let's do... did I check the box that said one shot? Yes, I did. So it's doing one shot. So we don't want one shot. I turned it off. Okay. So if you're paying attention, whenever this plays, it's going to open up. An asteroid's going to look like it's coming into existence. Then it's going to disappear. And then the thing's going to and then it's going to close like that. And then it's just going to repeat itself just over and over every 3 seconds. Now, the problem with this happens to be that we need to spawn the actual asteroid whenever the doors are starting to close. So let's take a look at our script again. So if we want to get this right, the asteroid actually needs to spawn right here. And then the doors need to close. And probably a better way to do this would be the play animation. And then the spawn asteroid would be a totally different function. Why don't we do that? Let's do that. So let's change this one here. Let's call this one right there. And I'm going to put this here. And this is where I actually want to play the spawn asteroid. And for this one, we want to play the spawn asteroid animation. Spawn asteroid animation. And so it's like this. All right, so let's see if you can follow along with what just happened there. I know that was quite a bit, but I think you guys are smart. Okay, so the timer starts for 3 seconds. I'm going to change this to 5 also, make that a little bit longer. So every 5 seconds, it's going to try and spawn an asteroid. So it says spawn asteroid animation. That's going to come here. It's going to play the eject asteroid. It's going to wait till that finishes. Then it's going to try and spawn the asteroid. And here's where it spawns it. And then it's going to close the ejector. And then at the very, very end, we need to play the idle animation. So it goes back to idle. All right, let's give this a shot. On our test zone, I'll hit play. So we have the asteroid ejector. After 5 seconds, it's going to try to spawn an asteroid and close. So you'll notice that when it says spawn asteroid is whenever the asteroid disappears. And that is exactly what we want. We want the doors to open and play the animation looking like the asteroid's coming into existence. And then as soon as it disappears, that's when we want to put the new asteroid in its place and then shut the doors behind it. All right, so that is a pretty long video. We're going to leave it right there, and we'll pick it up on the next one. See you guys later.